gonna keep waving until someone shows up. How long do you think it'll take? Pepper. I'll switch arms so they don't get too tired. Boop 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 boop. No, switch. Turn back on. Actually, let me set my TV up now. Pepper, are you being a bozo? Wait, where did the music go? Hello? The music just stopped? Hello? Why is there always some kind of technical difficulty? Shuffle. There we go. Maybe I went through every song? I don't know. The playlist just disappeared. Oh, I can loop playlist. Oh, that's what happened. Okay, there we go. There's a software update for the Great Ace Attorney. This is from... It's from Nintendo Land, but Nintendo Land has a bunch of different songs, different games. And this is from Pikmin Adventure Spring. It's Pikmin. Brittany. Stardew Valley, really? 3 days into Breath of the Wild. 2. I guess it's not really Breath of the Wild at all. It's just Tears of the Kingdom. I'm probably so out of sync, I just realized that. Oh well. Let's play Ace Attorney. And then they're going to be asking questions about the trial. Right! Hey! Speaking of which. Ace, welcome to chat. How's it going, Ace? Mario Sports Mix. That was a fun game. It was really weird, but it was fun. Coffee! There's everybody. How's everyone going? Speak of me and I shall appear. Ace Trainer Angel. Ace Trainer Angel. Twisted. Oh my god, it is twisted. Oh my god, my live notification was accurate. It's twisty. It's the twisted karma. Why are we back home? What? It ended? Oh, I thought we were going to, you know, like still continue it. Also, these outfits are just divine. Why would anyone go to the other ones? Look at that. Look at that outfit. Look at the hearts on the. Oh, so good. We have an apartment check-in tomorrow, so I'm spending all day cleaning today. No, that sucked. I'm sorry, Ace. That's super sucky. I still can't believe what just happened. Hey, no! I inquired with the bailiff after the court session was adjourned, and it seems Mr. Vigil was taken to the hospital to recover. Right. 10 years ago now, Mr. Vigil attempted to commit suicide by jumping out of the window of the prison governor's office. That's right. But ever since then, he's completely blocked the memory of those events from his mind. You're gonna need to vacuum and mop 3 flights of stairs? 3 flights of stairs? What? You have 3 flights of stairs? No, I don't remember this. Just let the stairs be gross. On the 3rd floor. Sorry, I forget everything that happens on stream. So the stairs are literally like part of your apartment? They're not like a shared thing? I don't know, that's strange to me.
Nobody knew his secret, not his family, not even the man himself, but I forced it out into the open. Was it wrong of me to do that? Did I overstep the mark? I wonder.
Bruno! Oh.
Oh, Iris!
Yes, that's what she sounds like.
You were miles away. Anyway, I brewed a fresh pot of soothing tea for you.
Part of my apartment and not shared. Really? It's a whole building. Each apartment has their own. Oh. So you have your own 3 flights of stairs. Yeah, that's gonna suck. It's gonna super suck cleaning. Dang.
Oh, thank you. You and Susie have an exhausting day so far, haven't you? Oh! Thank you, Iris. How thoughtful of you. Do you happen to know where Mr. Sholmes is? When we came out of the courtroom back into the defendant's antechamber, he disappeared. Oh, no, I don't know. He just suddenly sprang to his feet and left. All he said was, I must leave. I wonder if he's pursuing the mystery of Inspector Gregson's death.
It opens and it's just stairs. Really? Or a cordless Dyson. Oh, I've heard Dysons are wonderful. One day, man. I'll have a Dyson one day. That's how I'll know I'm proper adulting. I'll have a Dyson.
Well, you know what Hurley's always saying, don't you? There are mysteries in this world that should perhaps never be solved. For the construction of a solution comes only at the expense of destruction of something else. What does that mean? He knows very well that when you open someone else's old wound, you often open your own too. But he just can't take his own advice and leave well alone. Solving mysteries is too important to him.
I used part of my OSEP a few years back to get it from Costco. It's like $700? Bro, that's a lot of money. Jeez. Worth it though? My first big investment.
That's so true.
Bro, that's more money than a console. Like, oh my god. We need a man. There's no outlets on the stairs, and they're okay. That's fair. That's fair. No, like I'm sure that's gonna last you for life. I'm just like, oh, $700. You know, I'm sure it was a great investment. Hello, Pepper. Are you here to play Ace Attorney? Hello.
I suppose that's a lot of a great detective in some ways. So then, let's have tea, and then I'll give you a hand. Oh, do you have time, Iris? Yes, I finished this month's manuscript at last, with barely a day to spare before the deadline. Oh, I'm so looking forward to it. A brand new story to read in the adventures of Sherlock Holmes. You know, I always hide Hurley's violin in the days before I have a deadline. You do? Poor Mr. Sholmes. I'm sure that's very wise, Iris. How sensible of you. Now then, my dear fellows, let's make a plan of action before we continue our investigation.
Wouldn't it be boring to read her adventures, since it's literally what they've already done? You know?
So, how did it go in court this morning? Well, we still don't know the truth about what really happened, but one thing's increasingly clear. Lord Van Zieks definitely didn't do it. Oh, goody. Yes, that's right. We managed to uncover several new facts as well. Oh, really? And there was another development, too. Kazuma. Yes, it's quite clear now. The Kazuma-sama is not himself.
She embellishes them. I love that.
The way he's acting, it's almost as if he's possessed. I know. I mean, at the end of the proceedings earlier, he was like a bloodhound the way he was chasing down Mr. Vigil's forgotten past. He's not normally so mercilessly persistent. What's going on in his head? I wonder. I really need to sit down with Kazuma and try to understand what he's going through. The Reaper's innocence. If Gregson was really murdered the day before his body was discovered, then Lord Van Zieks has to be innocent, you see? What? The day before? Well, that should be easy enough to work out. Just by examining the corpse, surely. Yes, you would expect so. But curiously, no time of death was included in the autopsy report. That is curious. There are still unanswered questions about Lord Van Zieks, though, aren't there? Ah, do you mean... I mean, what was he doing there in Fresno Street that day in the first place? Well, according to the man's testimony, he said he was investigating Inspector Gregson, didn't he? And it turns out that little room was actually the inspector's secret office. Oh, that sounds like it has all the makings of a wonderfully devilish plot. But then, why was the notice board in the... They're covered in all those particular papers? Papers about cases with a link to the Reaper. I'm starting to get a bad feeling about all this. Oh dear, that sounds more like something horribly devilish. We must start by looking into Inspector Gregson's movements of late.
Gregson's movements. Well, he's not moving anymore.
I never imagined I might have to be investigating an inspector's movements. Well, according to the entry in his diary.
Oh, so you have his diary now? Jesus. Oh wait, what's on her purse? There's a little keychain guy on her purse. I want to see what it is.
He was carrying out an incognito investigation of the Red-Headed League the day before his death. Oh, you mean he was doing the same as Hurley? Well, Mr. Jones was trying to apply, whereas the inspector was supposed to be investigating. I do wish it had been the other way around. Anyway, as it turns out, the inspector who went to investigate the Red-Headed League that day wasn't actually Gregson at all. It was Mr. Vigil, and
This is just all a recap.
You know what that sounds like to me? Establishing an alibi? Oh my! Yes, you're absolutely right, Iris. But why would Gregson need an alibi? It would appear that the inspector had something to do with that he wished to keep secret.
Murder. I'm calling it. Gregson is the Reaper.
I don't believe it. I always thought he was just a harmless lover of fish and chips. But perhaps they were seasoned with something a little more potent than salt and vinegar.
Like blood and betrayal.
I think perhaps we should try to move away from food analogies.
I refuse to believe that. I'm calling it now because it's the only person I feel like could actually be the Reaper.
Well, anyway, if Lord Van Zieks felt the need to investigate Gregson, yes, I agree. We must try to find out what he knows.
Mr. Vigil's condition.
Vigil, you say? Is that the name of the lady who came to visit Hurley yesterday? That's right. To ask Mr. Jones if he could help her to find her missing husband. Only Mr. Jones completely passed the buck to us. Actually, didn't you say that Mr. Vigil had been taken to hospital? Do you know which one? Ah, it's St. Sinner's. I'm starting to wonder if all the other hospitals in London have closed down. But that's amazing, Bruno. You found the lady's husband already. Well, I suppose I have, by accident. And 10 years ago, while Mr. Vigil was the chief warder at the prison, he was responsible for overseeing the professor's No! So, when the convict escaped, he was held responsible and immediately dismissed. Ugh, sometimes I really don't want to grow up. There's more. For 10 years after that, while he was ostensibly working as a peddler, he also had another secret job. He was paid by Gregson to be a stand-in, to impersonate the inspector, while he was going around murdering people. But why? I have absolutely no idea. That's a lie. He is murdering people. Ugh, Ginny was right. I'm starting to think all adults are up to no good now. Just wait till you find out we know your dad's dead and we're not telling you.
I think it's strong. I think so.
Including you, Bruno. I haven't paid anyone to impersonate me. That means he has ties to the professor and to Inspector Gregson, though. So I do think we ought to pay a visit to Mr. Vigil, don't you? Back to Saint Sinners, then.
Let's go. Oh.
Well, I think it's clear what we need to do, isn't it? Let us investigate, my dear fellows.
Is it a bunny? Oh, it's a little bunny. That's so cute.
Oh, Iris, you're even more enthusiastic than usual today. If anyone has anything to hide, my special Wilson shooter iron will soon set them straight. That water pistol I've stuffed full of piping hot extra special blend of mine. Then I'm quite sure it'll be very effective. I better be careful not to hide anything, including her dad's murder. Well, it feels a little strange that Mr. Shelms is nowhere to be seen, but still. Let's go and see what we can find out.
Oh, I'm sure we'll find him dancing around somewhere. I like to move it, move it. They said... Oh, we can't go here. Mr. Vigil's hospital bed. Wow, wow. Crutches. Oh, was he using crutches?
Oh, look, a pair of crutches. Before we came to Britain, I hadn't realized they were used here as well. I imagine they were imported from Japan from Great Britain in the first place. Oh, so no one in all of Japan broke a leg before their arrival. Anyway, this side of things doesn't bring back good memories for me. Oh dear, did you injure yourself once and need to use some? When I was little, I thought they looked fun, so I borrowed a pair to play with. But then I slipped and sprained my ankle. I see. They contain powerful magic, those wooden staffs. The power to heal and the power to harm. I think a certain cheeky little boy managed to cause the harm all by himself.
With feathers, I was very confused, Coffee. I'm like, I've never seen a bag of feathers before, so that doesn't quite equate to anything for me, you know? But also, you said tinier than Rue? Rue's pretty tiny. Rue's a very tiny cat. I always imagined Woolly Bear bigger than Rue. And why do they tell me to come here if no one's here? What about the sign? Pay with good cheer, leave with good cheer. Did he jump out the window? Where is he? Where is this man? Endlessly obliging. How much is Rue weigh? That's a great question. Asking the wrong person. I have no idea. Do you have any guesses, Glem? Yeah, Da Vinci's definitely heavier. So he's not here? Bro, why did I come here? Alright, let's go to Fresno Street. I don't think there's anything new to examine. Everything's been the same. Wait, can I re-examine things? Just sensible units. That's funny. Whenever we go to the gym, everything is in pounds. And Gum's like, I don't know what that is. Can you convert it to kilograms? I'm like, no, no, I can't. My brain doesn't work that way. Bum, 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 bum. What do you want from me? What do you want from me? And the treadmill says in miles. Oh yeah, that's right, it is. The prison? Lily! How's it going, Lily? Bum 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 bum. Oh, here we go.
Lord Van Zinks is reading, look! He doesn't seem like he wants visitors, does he?
But he must have noticed that we're here, surely, since we're talking out loud and looking right at him.
I think, please just let me leave me alone. I want to read my book in peace. Please just leave. Ugh, fine. What do you Nipponese want?
That's no way to greet the lawyer who's trying his hardest to prove your innocence, is it?
Perhaps not.
Huh?
I apologize. So, what can I do for you, Mr. Naruto? It's going good, taking a break from schoolwork. It is week 2 and I am drowning. Summer classes are so— No! That's right, you're in summer classes. Lily, that sucks. That sucks. No, don't do that.
Oh, the fog will lift over London for the first time in months tomorrow.
This does feel very, very strange.
I must say, I was impressed.
Oh, well, thank you.
What? He's impressed? Not by you. Oh, okay. By your fellow Nipponese, the prosecutor friend. Oh, yeah, of course. The one you trained.
Oh, I see, yes.
It's sardonic, don't you think? Sardonic? For a man such as me, so loathing of the Nipponese, to be entirely at the mercy of the two of you. I suppose it's retribution for having played the part of the Reaper all these years.
Played the part.
Him and Gregson are in cahoots. I know it. I don't know it, but that's my theory.
You once told me that you gladly allowed people to believe you were the Reaper, because it helped reduce the amount of serious crimes that took place in London.
Willibear weighs 3.62 kilograms. That is very, very small. Oh my god, yeah, that's right. He's less than the protein bag we got. I don't know. I'm gonna have to ask Jillian if and when she comes into chat. How much Rue weighs. She's just like so tiny, you know? Like, her face is so tiny and her nose is so tiny. Oh, yeah. Pepper just got under 20 pounds. If keeping quiet and playing the part benefits the cause, a cause I myself am committed to pursuing, then why would I choose to say anything?
But the henchman of a criminal killed by the Reaper attacked you only the other day. Now it's just the most recent of many attempts on your life, wasn't it? Someone is clearly profiting from your silence about all this. Someone is using you.
Believe me, ever since the Reaper first appeared, I've been doing my utmost to expose him. Or rather, expose the organization. Oh?
Ah! It's a whole organization!
It's inconceivable that all those accidents were orchestrated by one man. No, the Reaper always appears to have very accurate information about the accused in each case, which can only mean that somebody at Scotland Yard is involved.
Gregson. Someone at... You can't mean...
It's taken me many years, but I finally identified the central figure in this Reaper organization.
I freaking called it!
Tobias Gregson. Bro! Bro! The twists are twisting!
No! Gregson? The Reaper?
I just said I refuse to believe it. I don't want to believe it either. However, it just makes sense, you know? Yeah, Gregson's the dead guy. He's the one with the fish and chips.
So, the reason you were investigating Inspector Gregson is because you intended to expose him as the Reaper?
As I said, the Reaper of the Bailey is no single person. It's a highly secret organization with close ties to Scotland Yard. But there's no doubt that Gregson was a key member of that organization.
I don't believe it. Are you saying that Gregsy, that he was behind all those awful criminals meeting their...
Gregson didn't do the dirty work himself.
Oh,
He was the tactician. His job was to covertly investigate the marks on plot, their assassinations. In order to do that without arousing suspicion, he regularly needed a firm alibi. He definitely doesn't give off evil masters. No, he definitely doesn't. And I think that's why he's like the perfect person to be, you know? Whenever I said Woolly Bear is a small bear, did you think I was comparing him to actual bears? Yeah. You mean like he's a very tiny actual bear?
which is where Mr. Vigil came in.
Which is where Mr. Vigil came in, posing as an inspector.
Vigil knows nothing of the Reaper, but the room we went on Fresno Street was almost certainly the headquarters of the operation. Gregson would have met the assassin there for briefings.
So we don't actually know who carried out their killings then.
But he's also a small cat. Yeah, I didn't figure that. I figured, I don't know, he'd be like a normal medium-sized or large cat. I never thought he'd be a small cat. Actually, I do have a name.
You what?
Well, if you can name the man, you have the true identity of the Reaper already then.
Or, if I can name the woman. Who? Who's... The Swan Lady? She was killed, though. Yeah, because there was a second trial where we had to find the murderer of her. The second? No, because she's new. Strongheart? I don't think it's either of these two because they seem blissfully unaware. No, woman. Maybe? We just met her, though. What other girl have we known this entire time? I don't know. I can't think of anyone.
Oh!
She's a young woman by the name of Aza Shin?
Wait, what? Shin?
Oh, you were right. It is a swan girl.
The true name of a terrifying killer I know only too well.
But she was killed, right? Right?
She came to Japan posing as a visiting student and murdered Dr. John H. Wilson. Which I didn't just say that out loud. Then, just when it seemed that diplomatic protection would help her escape Japan and conviction,
Yeah, I thought so.
the mysterious woman was herself murdered in a small summer beach hut. And that woman was actually the Reaper of the Bailey?
Is that why there hasn't been murders recently? Yeah, I thought it's because they left the UK.
Mr. Naruto, this perhaps isn't a place to discuss.
No, of course not. We can't mention it here. The fact that she killed Dr. John H. Wilson.
She's like, I can freaking hear you.
Because Iris doesn't know, and it's very likely that the man was her father.
It is her father.
Asha Sin, I should let father know at once.
Yes, I agree.
So about Asugi. Kazuma, was it? Kazuma Asugi. You say he's your friend of yours.
My best friend. He's the whole reason I got to come to Britain. It was all on his merits. I have nothing but respect for him.
That was also a real swan on her head. Just so you guys know, it is a real swan and it is alive. Well, was alive. We don't know if it was killed also with the girl. That was never explained. Yes, I understand that only the very best there ever was are selected for such opportunities. And I had a fine demonstration of how sharp he is in the proceedings earlier today. He missed nothing. In fact, his flawless performance very much reminded me of his father. She keeps it, yes! And when we caught her as guilty, the swan like started flapping its wings and laying eggs, and then there were little chicks all over the courtroom. It was very, very weird.
Genshin Impact, the professor.
It's true that aristocracy at the time was the root of numerous grave societal problems. They were abusing their power, playing with the common man as pawns in politics and economics and war. In many ways, Asugi was carrying out a canker of a society that we British couldn't deal with ourselves.
Ah, I see.
This is horrific, yes. But that's precisely why it makes no sense. Clint Van Zieks was a noble and upstanding man. He wasn't corrupt. Why did the damn Nipponese have to go and take my brother's life? In spite of having once saved mine.
He saved your life? How did that happen?
It was 10 years ago, on a foggy night. What was to be the professor's final strike had sent a wave of panic through the capital.
So Clint Van Zieks had already been killed at this point, then.
Genshin and I were walking down some back streets at a late hour. Of course, at that point, I had no idea the true nature of the man at my side. All of a sudden... Do we get to see his face? Don't make a peep! You're coming with us! Ooh. Oh, his sword. We were surrounded. All of our assailants were armed with pistols, their faces obscured by scarves. Clint was not only from noble heritage, he was a brilliant prosecutor as well. The scum of London hated the sight of him, and they had no sympathy for his younger brother either. I've been targeted several times before, actually.
Yeah, it's Van Zeke's all right.
Yeah, it's Magic's alright. Yeah, we got him. I could hear them murmuring amongst themselves. I knew they were after me. But just when I thought my time had come, if I let them kill you, Clint would never forgive me. It was Asugi's voice, just a whisper in my ear. Bang! After that, I don't remember exactly what happened. Of course you don't. Of course you don't. The next thing I knew, there was silence all around. Genshin lay on the cobbled street. Blood was seeping from his left hand. He'd shielded me. But I thought... 2 days later, they arrested him. Oh, he didn't die. Okay. On suspicion of being London's most notorious mass murderer ever. The Professor. How awful for you! Something tells me he's not actually the murderer. There's more twists that are twisting. All at once, I lost a brother I revered? And the foreign friend I held in such high regard.
I'm so sorry, Lord Van Zeeks.
That's the end of my miserable tale. I never thought I'd recount it to anyone.
Well, thank you for confiding in me.
The Professor, the Reaper, and Inspector Gregson. I wonder just how intimately related they all are.
I still can't quite believe that Gregson was essentially the Reaper, giving assassination orders to Jezio Brett.
Mr. Naruto, let's go and inform my father. I'm sure our government will want to hear about this new information. Oh, that means I get to meet your daddy, Susie. Hooray!
Do you remember at the end of the first game, we decoded a message? What were the names from that message? I remember Cosmo was in there. Wasn't Tobias Gregson also in there? I don't remember.
Yes, all right. Let's head back to the Great Waterloo Hotel. Meh, 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 meh.
Yay, we can go to the hotel. Waterloo. It was Jim. Yes, of course, Jim. What does it say, Gleb? Yeah, for sure.
I thought it yesterday, and I think it again today. This place is so princely.
It's a wild guess, but I have a feeling you'll think the same tomorrow, too.
Kazuma Asugi, A. Shin. Now we know who that is. Tobias Gregson and her dad. Yeah, 3 of those are already dead. Dang, do you think they're gonna try to kill Cosma again? There was a Jim Wilson. You got it, Lily. You cracked the case wide open.
My tea has a finer fragrance than whatever they're serving in the tea room here, though. Wouldn't you say?
Ah, look who we have here. This is an unexpected pleasure.
Ah, Father! Oh, is this your daddy, Susie? How lovely.
But Kazuma wasn't like assassinated or anything. He just like fell because of a cat, right? That we know of. True. Interesting. What charming young lady, and you are! Ah, really? So you're the author of The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes, are you?
That's me, Iris Wilson, at your service, sir. Susie's been such a wonderful friend to me over the last year, you know?
Well, Miss Wilson, I must say I read your work regularly and with such interest.
Iris, actually. Lives with Mr. Sholmes, you know, Father.
Is that so? Well, perhaps that goes some way to explaining the bright look in your eyes.
Hee hee. Ooh woo.
You wouldn't be smiling so airily if you knew just how bright she is, believe me.
Now then, young Naruto, it was a pleasure seeing you in action earlier. As an invitee of the symposium, I was allowed to observe from the gallery after I twisted some arms. And I must say, it was truly exemplary performance.
Oh, well, thank you very much.
Author Conan Doyle looks very different in their pictures.
Although I'm fairly sure you omitted by Kazuma on the end here.
No, please don't misunderstand. It was you who impressed me.
Really?
You didn't miss a step against Asugi, and we all know how capable he is. Really, to have matured as such a fine defense lawyer in less than a year is quite extraordinary.
It's very kind of you to say so. And really nice to hear.
What I saw in court today confirmed what I've been hoping for. The favor I mentioned yesterday, Naruto, I trust you haven't forgotten.
Oh, no, you did mention something, didn't you?
But first, we have something to report, Father.
Of course. Shall we take tea while we discuss matter further?
I wonder where Judge Jiguku has got to.
Yeah, we haven't seen him in a while. About the Reaper.
Father, do you know about the so-called Reaper of the Bailey?
I've heard rumors. Some members of the judiciary explained it all to me yesterday. Of course, whenever I visited a student here in London, the Reaper was yet to emerge.
Right! He didn't appear until after the case when the visiting students had already returned home.
Lord Van Zieks, who was in the dock today. That was Barrock, the younger brother of Clint Van Zieks, I believe.
That's right. And he's known throughout London as the Reaper, as you've heard. But the truth is, it wasn't him behind all those mysterious deaths. It was somebody else.
I see. So what you're saying is, there's been a professional killer at work here.
Exactly. Someone by the name of Asha Shin, in fact.
I beg your pardon. Did you just say assassin? You mean that Jezio-bred woman who was responsible for killing my great friend?
Oh no, a friend of yours was killed.
Oh no. Shush.
Professor Mikotoba, I think perhaps we shouldn't discuss this right now, since there is a little girl beside us by the last name of Wilson. Because the friend the professor was talking about is Dr. John H. Wilson. And that's not something we want Iris to find out about, not like this in any way.
Why did we I know. And the music goes back to normal.
So, about Dr. Wilson's death, what?
I've just remembered something. biscuits! This hotel has the most delicious looking biscuits!
That was rather out of the blue.
She's doing this deliberately. I think I'll go and see if I can purchase some. I wonder, would you like to come too, Iris? Oh, yes. You just try to leave me behind.
Throw cookies at the child. They're talking, it's just like...
So that young girl is called Iris Wilson, is she?
Yes, that's right.
And she's the author of all those adventure stories starring the great Detective Sholmes. But the name of the credited author isn't Iris, is it? It's Dr. John H. Wilson.
Yes, I know. That's the name of her father, you see.
Her father?
Well, yeah.
Dr. John H. Wilson. I am deeply indebted to the man for all the kindness he showed me during the time in London.
Queen! Oh my god, it took me a while to realize it. Yeah, you're pink now. I love it.
That's why I was keen to reciprocate and invite him to the Imperial Yuma University 4 years ago.
But he was murdered last year by Jezail Brett. Why? Why would the head of the Reaper stretch all the way to Japan? Iris knows nothing about that case. But it seems very likely that the victim, Dr. Wilson, was her father.
Well, I can't say that we ever spoke about his family, so I don't know if he had a daughter or not. But I think I can say with some certainty that he was never the great detective's partner.
So, it could have been another Dr. Wilson?
Well, John and Wilson are both common names after all. Still, it's probably best not to mention this to the young lady until we can be sure.
Yeah, no one mentioned a single thing, Lily. In fact, we're hiding it from her. Because we're just all terrific people.
That's what we thought, yes.
We're back with cinnamon biscuits.
Although, I guess we're not sure if it's actually her dad. I feel like it'd be very weird if it wasn't her dad, you know?
Oh, they smell delicious, Iris.
I think cinnamon will go very well with the tea they serve here. Don't you, Susie? Yes. I'm sure you're right, Iris.
So, Judge Jigoku.
I haven't seen Judge Jigoku for a while, have you?
I'm living for it. Love it, Queen. How are you guys? I'm doing great today, Queen. I'm doing great. How many John Wilsons traveled to Japan, though? Yeah, true, right? Like, it has to be.
No, now that you mention it, I haven't seen him since this morning either.
It happens way more often than you would think. Interesting. I don't know. I have so many questions now.
I suppose since the symposium's opening was postponed, he'll have to go on to explore the great exhibition.
That reminds me of something you mentioned yesterday. About Judge Jigoku having once been in the dock himself.
Ah, yes, it was all tied up with that cursed trial.
The closed trial of Kazuma's father?
Shishiro was trying to mitigate Genshin's guilt, so he took to the stand to testify. But he got a little carried away and, actually managed to break the witness stand.
Oh my!
He also said some contemptuous words about the British Empire, for which he was charged.
Oh dear! Although it's worryingly easy to imagine him doing that.
Feels like a really common name. Yeah, it does. I guess we'll find out.
Well, it was all right in the end. He was acquitted and we returned home to Japan together.
The thing is, though, like, I feel like the one person who would know would be Herlock Sholmes. You know? If he was his partner. and we haven't seen him since, and he's basically adopted his daughter because he's gone missing. Like, you know?
Thank goodness.
Oh, yes. Talking of Shishiro, I have a copy of the photograph we all took together here yesterday. Please.
Oh,
Oh, what a lovely picture.
it certainly seems to show we've arrived in Britain.
Why was this added to our inventory? Is there something of Judge Goku? Is there something we don't know? But the H in the middle makes it pretty unique. It would be a real... Yeah, exactly.
None of us had any idea what was coming when we took that, did we?
No, that's so true.
The favor. So we're playing for getting... Yeah, let's hear it. Let's hear it, Ace.
So, you mentioned a favor that you'd like to ask me.
Well, this fateful trial that you're fighting, one way or another, it will be over before long. And when it is, I'd like you to accompany me back to Japan.
You want me to...
What? Father, what's the meaning of this?
Now, Sasato, you should understand. You've seen how our courts work firsthand. Japan's judicial system is in its infancy, especially when it comes to defense.
Oh, you mean...
The Supreme Court of Justice is in desperate need of a good defense lawyer. As soon as possible. Really quite urgently, in fact.
But I'm not even been to London a year yet.
I've read all of Sasato's reports. I'm well aware of your extraordinary talents. And having seen you in action with my own eyes earlier today, there's no question. You, Naruto, are precisely the man our country needs.
Ah!
I'll do one thing at a time, then take a short break, and either do 10 minutes of TikTok, well timed, or play 10 minutes of Apex. So like one match of Apex then? I love that.
So, you be leaving then, Runo? But then, what am I supposed to do, Father?
Yeah, 10 minutes of TikToks does feel dangerous. Especially because you could do, oh, just one more. Oh, just one more. Oh, just one more. You know, I feel like Apex would be better, because then you can like actually just one game. You can't be, oh, just one more, because that'll be another 10 minutes, you know?
You came here to serve Sugi's judicial assistant.
Oh, yes. She's supposed to be Kazuma's assistant.
Our government is still in the process of deciding how to best deal with the situation, though. You've always chosen your own path, Sasato. And I trust your judgment. In this matter also.
If I have to clean, I just stay off my phone or I will get way too... Yes, I put on Game Grumps and just listen to them as I'm clean. That's what I do.
Father!
Give me a pop-up to remind me it's been 10 minutes. Oh, that's good, though. That's good.
Please, the pair of you, don't look so downcast.
Oh, don't look so downcast. It's merely a suggestion, you understand. I hope, if I'm honest. But I won't force you. All I ask is that you consider it and come to a decision by the time this trial concludes.
Yes, all right.
You won't leave, will you, Runo?
The thought hadn't even crossed my mind. Up until now, I've just been trying to do what I believed to be Kazuma's will. But it turns out that he's still alive, so... where does that leave me?
To go back to Japan, have babies, and then Phoenix Wright is born. Obviously.
Well, if you'll excuse me now. I need to telegram government ministers and the Japanese police with this information about Asashin.
Of course, Father. Thank you.
I look forward to next month's installment, Miss Wilson.
Oh, good. And please do come to Baker Street sometime, won't you? We love to entertain you.
Not dad, but ancestor. I don't know exactly how far back, but who we're playing as right now, yes, is absolutely Phoenix Wright's ancestor.
I would be delighted. The best of luck for you, Naruto. And give my suggestion your full consideration, won't you?
Yes, I will. Going back home?
There's a lot of theories about yeah, so in the English version his name is Phoenix Wright, but in the Japanese version his name is Ryu. Instead of Ryanosuke, it's what? Yeah. No, but his first name is Ryu Naruto, is what I mean. Yeah, so our name in this is Ryanosuke Naruto, and Phoenix in the Japanese version is Ryunosuke Naruto. So, like, they're definitely... Also, they announced it. They were like, oh, Phoenix's ancestor. But yeah, they changed his name in the English version to Phoenix Wright. Boo, 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 boo.
You know, Kazuma has always meant a great deal to my father. I'm sure he'd love the chance to meet with him and talk to him about all of this.
Yeah, no doubt. Word, dog. Asha Shin. Of course. It's so obvious.
Oh. How could I have neglected to consider the possibility before now?
Mr. Sholmes.
Hurley, where have you been?
Why, I joined you all for tea, of course. What an extraordinary question. Ah, there we go. It's probably a great or great-great-grandfather. Yes, 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 yes. He might not be a male line descendant, hence would not have the same last name. But they do. They do have the same last name.
I didn't notice you at all.
No matter, no matter. Anyway, to be more pressing concerns, Mr. Naruto.
Oh, yes?
I must dispatch a telegram to your country at once. It is a matter of much urgency.
Japan, you mean?
Tell me, to whom can I entrust the task? Quickly now, who?
Oh, well... My father has just now left to send a telegram to the Imperial Police Bureau of Japan himself.
I see. Well, he looks reliable enough for a bearded fellow.
I don't think what father sports could be considered a beard.
Mr. Sholmes, yeah, it's just a mustache. A gross one at that. There's not a moment to lose. Kindly ask your trusty unshaven father to see this scent.
I will, but what is it?
No questions at this time, if you please, Mr. Sato. All we can do is pray that for once, my deductions is awry.
Doesn't that imply that your deductions are normally correct, Mr. Sholmes?
Which isn't exactly. Now then. You may be surprised to learn that I'm a very busy man. I certainly have no time to hide behind settees and eavesdrops on other people's conversations.
So that's what joining us for tea meant.
I leave the sending of this in your hands then, my dear fellows.
Ah! Wait a minute, Mr. Sholmes!
He just sort of ran off, didn't he? At quite a pace.
And left the unpaid bill for his tea behind, too.
Boo boo doo 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 doo.
I must catch up with father at the telegram office at once.
Wait, do we have what it is? Oh, we don't have it. I wanted to read it.
And I'll run and call us a cab. Straight away.
Oh, okay.
And there was me thinking everyone would be clamoring to pay Mr. Sholmes' bill, but... Well, guess I gotta do it.
Wait, where are we going then? Where is there left to go? Maybe back to the hospital? Boop, 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 boop.
This is the ward where Mr. Vigil was brought, apparently. To be frank, I'm a little worried about seeing him again.
There he is. Ah, the lawyer. Hello again.
Are you feeling better now, Mr. Vigil?
Yes, thank you. Somewhat better.
I'm so sorry to have caused you to... I mean, it was because of me. If I hadn't exposed your secret and forced you to remember things, you'd obviously try to forget.
The prosecutor was here until a few moments ago, too. You just missed him.
Oh, Cosmo beat us to it.
Is that swollen lip guy from last? Yes! He took off his disguise, and this is him. He said much the same as you. He was very apologetic. But the truth is, I brought all of this upon myself.
Please don't think like that.
Keeping it from Evie, my wife, all these years, I've carried such a sense of guilt. But that's not the worst of it. Over time, I obviously came to deceive myself as well. I know! Hold on, can I... Oh, nope, I almost fell. Never mind.
You mean about your dismissal?
Looking back now, I'm beginning to think that perhaps Inspector Gregson didn't stumble across me by accident at all. I mean, he compensated me so generously for acting as his stand-in. He was clearly concerned for my well-being and doing what he could to help.
So perhaps Gregson knew exactly what had become of Mr. Vigil all along then.
Just doesn't have enough drama in him to be fair. I don't. I'm sure this is just desserts for 10 years of lies and deception, but it wasn't me that helped the professor escape 10 years ago. It wasn't me. I swear it. I swear it's true.
Oh, Mr. Vigil.
I'm sure you'd rather not dredge up even more from your past at this time. But, if possible, could you tell us exactly what really happened?
He's like, are you kidding me? I want to. I need to get all this off my chest. I just want someone to tell me what I should have done. Okay. Well, tell us. Gregson's request. Inspector Gregson was obviously engaged in a special operation of some sort. He was investigating something that even Scotland Yard couldn't know about.
Details of the Reaper's marks. Yes.
It was when he had to carry out those investigations that I would take his identification and impersonate him.
You pretend to be the inspector and carry out investigations on his behalf?
Oh no, never. A common street peddler couldn't possibly carry out a proper police investigation. All I would do is go to the specified location and make a little hoo-ha. Just something to leave an impression, so everyone there would think a detective called Gregson was here.
So, that's what you were doing on the day prior to the incident.
Yes, he asked me to make an appearance at the park on Lime Street for the Red-Headed League event. So as usual, I flashed the inspector's identification around and was very vocal about my presence.
But then you were taken prisoner by those red-headed fraudsters, who we hope will never come back.
Yes.
So you would always make a point of showing Gregson's identification and generally being loud.
That's what the inspector asked me to do, yes.
Well, that's one way of becoming a legendary detective, I suppose. Not a good one, though.
And as you know, I suffered this bruising around my neck at their hands. But the following day, they kept their word and released me.
Without returning the inspector's identification to you, however.
We had arranged to meet in Fresno Street room at the 5 that day, so I could report back to the inspector. He was also carrying fish and chips around with him. No, I feel like he wasn't. That's more convincing than the idea. But they had the agreed time. That's when I heard the gunshot.
You know what's very odd? There were no fish and chips at the scene of the crime. I think that's the most odd thing of all.
It was at midnight on the 17th of June, 10 years ago. That was the time scheduled for the execution.
But the professor's execution never actually took place, did it? Or rather, the execution itself must have been used to affect the plan of escape. I hardly dare to imagine what a chilling plan it was. Whoops.
Barclay was renowned for being the highest security prison in the country. Everything that went in or out of the place was searched multiple times. But there was one notable exception. Or rather, one notable loophole. Something that was never questioned.
I have a feeling I know what that loophole was now.
The murderer probably took the chips because they would have gone bad by the time he was found. True. True. Boom. Okay, that does solve it. That does solve it.
The coffins into which the bodies of the executed convicts were placed, correct?
Yes. Once the coroner had confirmed the death of a condemned convict, the body was taken in its coffin for immediate burial in Lowgate Cemetery just behind the prison. The chief warder first had to sign the necessary papers. And after that, no member of staff was permitted to touch the coffin containing the body again.
What was that, Iris?
When executions took place, only the executioner and the coroner were permitted inside the chamber. I would wait in the adjacent room for word that the condemned convict was dead. On that occasion, once I had the confirmation, I went into that mortuary to find a lone coffin as usual. The procedure was that I would sign the paperwork having checked the coffin, then nail it shut. But for some reason that day, the coffin was already nailed shut.
No!
I didn't think anything of it at the time. I assumed that my duty must have checked the coffin and nailed it shut before I arrived on my deputy.
So, you mean the coffin contained?
Yes, I can only imagine that Asugi, having escaped his execution somehow, was alive inside the coffin. The coffin was then taken out through the main gates and deposited in Lowgate Cemetery.
I'm having fun, and heck if I stop now. Have fun, Queen! What are you having fun with?
Presumably there wouldn't have been enough air inside to breathe for long. So in the early hours following the burial, somebody dug up the coffin again to set Genshin free. But in the end, it doesn't really matter. He was fairly shot in the graveyard anyway.
Pokemon characters? Hell yeah, Pokemon. Yeah, draw Pokemon. Who are you gonna draw, Queen?
What on earth really happened in Logi Cemetery that night, I wonder?
I'm afraid I really don't know. All I can say with certainty are two things. My skin is baby smooth, and Asugi couldn't possibly have escaped that way without help from somebody working in the prison. And that somebody was not me.
Ingo. Oh, the train guy went back in time, right? Poor dude's still stuck in the past.
Obviously, you're the man then. The professor, I mean. Genshin Asugi.
Yes, I remember him well, in fact.
Would you mind telling us what you know?
Well, having been condemned to death as he was, any contact I had with the man was short, obviously.
The snail dragon Pokemon. Oh, Sliggoo. That's why. Yeah, it sounds very, very similar. Poor Ingo. Probably has the worst backstory ever. Gets separated from his twin brother and gets sent to the past with like no memories at all. That sucks. Also, his other twin being like, yo, where'd he go? Well, having been condemned to death as he was, any contact I had with the man was short, obviously. That game actually had like dark lore. I liked it. Looking back, Legend of Arceus was honestly really good. After the trial, which was carried out behind closed doors, attended only by elite members of the judiciary, they called for his execution to be carried out at the earliest possible opportunity. I'm going to pretend I understand what those words mean, Queen. The outcome of the trial was set from the beginning of, wasn't it?
Well, our trial was everything, wasn't it? It was a time of delicate diplomacy, when Britain and Japan were in the process of signing an important treaty. That meant that this potentially destabilizing case had to be dealt with swiftly and discreetly.
The man had less than a week in total. As I was the chief warder, I oversaw his short stay in the cells until his final hour. I remember being struck deeply by his noble character and incredible resilience.
What do you mean exactly?
He was a killer of many men, but he was always quiet and polite. He was a gentleman and a man of intellect. In fact, I couldn't bring myself to believe that he'd done, so I asked him one day, those 5 members of the aristocracy whose lives were taken, were you really responsible? I'm guilty of the unforgivable crime of ending another human's life, yes. But he didn't say 5. The following day, the closed trial took place, and the verdict was no surprise.
Guilty.
That night, when he was brought back to his cell, I saw something unusual.
Something unusual? What?
The last will and testament of Genshin Asugi. Oh? And what was it? As I said, it was on the night following his trial after he'd been found guilty. I was doing the round of the cells, and when I looked into Asugi's, I noticed that he seemed to have a sheet of paper in his hand.
Ah! His last will and testament then, presumably.
As soon as he noticed me, he hurriedly shoved it behind his back.
But why did you find that so unusual? Isn't it normal for a man to pen a will when he knows his death is nigh?
Yes, that's true, but there were special conditions to Asugi's incarceration, you see.
What sort of conditions?
Well, even though he was held in a cell designed for condemned inmates, he was allowed to keep his personal effects with him, with one exception.
Really? He was allowed his things? That is unusual, certainly.
Of course, he'd been convicted of killing 5 members of the aristocracy, but at the same time, he was a guest in our country from the Empire of Japan. The powers that be were determined that his final days shouldn't be needlessly uncomfortable.
And what was the exception you mentioned? To the personal effects he was allowed.
That's the point. He wasn't permitted to have writing materials. Specifically, no pens or paper.
So, he was prevented from leaving any written record of what had happened to him.
Where Mettaton smiled at me, and I forgot the rest of the context, but yeah. Well then. Yes, that was the long and the short of it. I've no idea where he obtained that paper. Any writing materials would have been confiscated upon his incarceration. As I said, he hid the paper behind his back, and then he pleaded with me. Mettaton is the second evolution of Metagross, right? Am I remembering that right? The one without a mouth, isn't it?
Please, please, turn a blind eye. This is my lifeline. But, you know it's against the rules. You're the only person who's seen. If you just agree to keep quiet. Alright then, but what's on that paper? A last will and testament. This will is the only weapon I have left now. Oh. Oh.
How can a will be a weapon?
So I decided to pretend I'd seen nothing, and I let him keep his will. But then later, it just seemed to vanish without a trace.
What? What do you mean, it vanished?
I like how no one had one question about me having 1 pound bundle of turkey feathers, just about the size of my cat. You know what? I never thought about it. What were you doing with that 1 pound of turkey feathers, Coffee? I fixed a cat fountain. Hell yeah, Ace! We love when we get things done when we don't even mean to get them done.
It would seem that it isn't the end of the story of this mysterious will.
The will's disappearance.
He's a very thick tie.
I was the only person who saw Asugi's will, but somehow it disappeared.
Oh, but somehow it disappeared.
It was after Asugi's execution.
Which is actually an elaborate jailbreak.
The warders gathered up Asugi's possessions that were in his cell. They were all to be sent back to his family home in Japan, you see.
To poor Kazuma-sama.
So Cosma has the will then?
And you're saying that it wasn't anywhere to be found among his personal effects. The will, I mean.
That's right, though I didn't search through them myself. But Governor Caden was livid. He was screaming.
Can I have been disappeared completely?
That doesn't quite make sense, though, does it?
In what way?
Well, we'd understood that only Mr. Vigil was aware of the will's existence. In which case, how did the present governor know to look for it?
Oh yes, you're right.
I really don't know how he knew, but it certainly seemed as though he knew of the will's existence from the outset. Only he didn't refer to it as a will. What he said was, the Asugi papers.
The Asugi papers.
The Asugi papers.
The Asugi paper. Everyone just keeps saying.
I really can't tell you anything of the subsequent events. Because, well, of what happened.
Your dismissal, and the way you blocked it all from your memory.
I'd forgotten all this until today. I didn't suppose it's relevant to the case, though.
Well, anyway, thank you very much for sharing with us, Mr. Vigil. We're very grateful.
Do 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 do.
I'm afraid there's really little more I can tell you. My wife, Evie, will be here shortly, so I do hope I don't appear rude, but...
No, not at all. Thank you again.
But what will become of you now?
Well, impersonating a police officer is a criminal offense, of course. I imagine that once I'm fully recovered, I should be arrested.
I'm so sorry.
Don't be, please. This was all my undoing.
And the reason I have such an unreasonable amount of turkey feathers is a craft project I sell at the fairs the shop is at. Oh, I see. That does make more sense.
I always knew that this day would come.
Well, I wish you well. Goodbye, Mr. Vigil.
I don't know. In my head, it was just such a coffee thing. Like, oh yeah, of course coffee has a 1 pound bag of turkey feathers. Like, I don't know. I never questioned it, but once I think about it, I'm like, oh yeah, what would he use those for? Another layer to the googly eyes.
Ah! Before you go, there's just one thing.
The dude just did every one of his animations.
Oh, yes? What is it?
The Asugi papers. I'd be very grateful if you make no mention of the things I told you about them.
Presumably for some good reason.
It's my understanding that their very existence is a closely guarded secret. If it became known that I'd remembered, well, it could be rather troublesome, I think.
I understand. Some sort of will that Genshin Asugi penned just before his death, which is the man himself claimed was his last weapon. I wonder, perhaps it had something to do with his plan to escape.
Dum dum dum. Ballpoint quills? Ooh. Really? That sounds like a very complicated process, Coffee.
If there's anyone who might know more about the document that Cosmo's father left behind,
It would be Mr. Fidgel's governor.
Hey, y'all! Kiki, how's it going, man?
Then we know precisely where he must go. Back to Barclay Prison.
The cowboy face looks so gross on Twitch. I don't like that at all. Look at him just like, oh, my life is over. Where was the new place? Right, thank you. Governor's office. One sec, I'm gonna grab a sweater and a granola bar. Give me 2 seconds, guys. Things are cool. My YouTube is YouTubing. Yay! My TikTok. Wait, what? My TikToked. And I finished the majority of my school project. Oh, hell yeah, Geeky. That's great, man. Oh my goodness. What is your TikTok, by the way? What is it? Can we know it? Or is it just like more of like your YouTube stuff? I was shooting the breeze with Gabe during the last Sooner Fair, and I told him about Glom wanting to punch someone in Spanish, and Gabe was like, "Oh, I know what she means. I want to punch people in Spanish all the time." I've got the call. Yeah, how did a geeky remind you of that? We're twinning? Oh my god, geeky. Yes, rep that sweater. Oh my gosh. Apparently, there's a particular for punching that doesn't really have an English equivalent. Wait, a word? Really? My TikToked. Oh, okay. It's legit the same that's on my YouTube. Oh, okay. No, I took it off. No, you put that back on right this instant, mister. No one can see you. Like, it's no big deal, Kiki. We'll know. We'll know we're bundled up in the same sweater, you know? What is this from? This is from Roots. Are you wearing a Roots sweater as well, Geeky? I doubt it, because it's a Canadian brand. GP? Someone's GPs. What's our GP? Grand piano? Grandparents? Take your bet now, guys. What do you think GP stand for? Gap? Okay, I'm winning. Means doctor's appointment. Oh, interesting. Multiple grand pianos. Yeah, Ace, please come back and explain. Well, then you do the talking, Geeky. I'm trying to entertain chat. GPs. Gay pandas? I don't know. Okay. No. The last time you entered chat, you were like, oh, what was it you said? It was awful. It was something very, hey guys, actually, Grand Prix? The Grand Prix? That would be very funny. It's like the episode of SpongeBob where there's like crazy sound effects happening from inside the box, and Squidward goes crazy. I don't think we're ever gonna find out, guys. Ace gave us one of the greatest mysteries and then it's dipped. SMH, man, SMH. Ace, if you can hear this message over your $700, what's it called? Dyson, we need to know what GP stands for. You have us all very confused. I is here, good, Ace! I'm in the voice chat. Let me do the talking if you dare. No, I don't dare. Oh. That's so freaking funny. Also, wait. Someone's GPS? Are they activating it in their house? Turn right on, like, yeah, it was small. All three needed to be capitalized. That's so freaking funny. Turn left. Well, it wasn't a Grand Prix, sadly. Global positioning system. When I read that, I was like, someone's like making an orbital strike? Like, what? I had to hear Glum say a GPS. I'm like, oh. When GPS screaming at me at full volume would cause an accident. I hate when you're driving for like a long time and it's very silent and you forget you were using your GPS. And then out of nowhere, a loud voice goes, in 1.5 kilometers. I'm like, oh my God, thank you. Jesus, you know? That happened to us yesterday. Shot your British face, Geeky. My mom was driving, okay? I'm working on getting my license. This man. So why are you here to get a license today? Oh, if I don't, this kid from Britain won't stop teasing me, so I have to get it. A passenger princess. Yes. But one with motion sickness. So not quite living the life of luxury, you know? So what are you, Ace? Ace! You can't call me out. Not if you're in the same boat. Thank you, Lily. Thank you for having my back. Oh, I didn't read the also part. Okay, that's my bad. That's really funny. Never mind, Ace. I take that all back. Imagine explaining anything and starting your sentence with this kid from Britain. Goes by Hero or 30 or Hero 32 Geekster, whatever you want to call him, man. Anyways, he teases me online because I can't drive yet, so I have to get it. I never pay attention to the road because it makes me sick. I just play Pokemon Go and try not to vomit. I need my co-pilot to have eyes on the road as well. Should have gone on yeah, Geeky. Should have gone fast. Got to board fast. See, Geeky, I was just faster than you. That's all. I was born like years faster than you. You gotta catch up, son. His first words. I was the fastest. Gina and I have a fair trade-off. They drive and I go to the stores. I love that. I was get car sick, but I'm actually still helpful, but only in the front seat. I try to be helpful. I don't succeed. Looking at a game or book or anything, but the Horizons versus Milk. Yes. Unless it's Pokemon Go for some reason. I don't know. I think because I don't know why. But yeah, if I'm trying to read or play a game that involves a lot of movement, I think because Pokemon Go is just so static, I'm fine with it, you know? I think that's why. Boom, it's just like throw ball. That's all it does. It being static is a problem though? Really? Because I find like if I'm trying to read it, like the words are move. I don't know. I think it's also because like I don't have to focus my eyes on it, if that makes sense. Like it's not like I'm trying to read individual words. I just see the gist of it, and I can still play it. You know? If that makes any sense. from the backseat. I'm doing the neurodivergent thing and making up stories in my head. Yeah! Let's go, Ace! Let's go! Represent! Bum, 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 bum. Anyways, I should probably continue this. What's this about motion sickness? Your mom. But front seat, I need eyes on the road. DJ skills, coffee making, etc. That's a high criteria. I don't think I make most of those. Especially the DJ skills. I only know anime songs. I put yesterday my mom was driving us home. Oh, okay. And I put on Chainsaw Man intro songs. She was like, Cole, what am I listening to? Chainsaw Man. It was so good. It was a bop. It didn't last very long. I flinched. I'm not even kidding. At what? At your mom? Oh. Lily! Oh my god, thank you so much, Lily. Cole is dressed like a 55-year-old man. Why, thank you. I feel respected. I feel respected for once. Your mom. I could have made it worse, Geeky. I could have made it more personal, like I did with Kim. I could have said your mom. Could have made it more British, but you know what? Decided to save you that. Don't say that, because I'm wearing something like that. Yeah, but we all know Geeky's a 55-year-old man at heart. That's low. I know that does hit it quite a low. It's okay, Geeky. You know, we're still young and hip. It's okay. Let these little jokesters have their say. We're respectable young men. You know, Geeky? You know, we're going places. I also have the collar filled in. My identity is crumbling. Never say I'm young and hip. Why? You're young and hip, Lily. You're more young and hip than I am. You know, you have boba tea. I had boba tea for the first time when I visited you. There's a lot of cat hair on it. Ah, gotcha. It's like when a guest is coming over and your mom's like, "Did you clean your room?" It's like, they're not coming to my room. I'm not letting them see my room, Mom. No one's coming near there. Ah, yes, he's back.
Ugh, back again, are you?
Yes. Hello.
Right, Gigi? I blame my mom. I get anxiety when strangers come. Aww.
I've heard all about your investigations. I read your report just now. You found him, eh? Did you?
Yes, luckily.
Well, anywho, the lady doesn't work here no more. So your case is not to do with Barclay. I would like you to get the wrong idea about that.
Of course, yes. Mr. Vigil started working here 10 years ago now, so... Yes, we've seen a dismal notice, haven't we? He was given the chop.
Aye, Kimmer.
Kimmer?
You can very well. So, how about the wee handcuff biscuit?
Oh, they really are like little handcuffs. And as hard as irons, too.
So, what brought you down here today?
Well, there's something else we'd like to ask you about, actually.
Is that so?
We believe there might have been a document that disappeared from Genshin Asugi's cell.
Oh, yes, please do, Gigi.
I think it's been called the Asugi Papers or something.
I don't know what. Thank you so much, Geeky. Thank you so much for your helpful insight. Really, really appreciate that. I thought he put out a pistol for a second.
Did I no say? Greg said that is not to do with things that might have happened in Barclay. Leave the past in the past, lady. Let's not futter about with irrelevant details.
You whelks. Ew. I hate when strangers are going to come to my apartment. Immobilizes me and prevents me from cleaning. Aww. I'm sorry, Coffee.
His expressions changed completely. We're clearly onto something here.
Ba 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 ba. Ba 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 ba.
Converse.
10-year-old legacy.
The murderer's botched execution, and the whole miserable escape. They were Barclay's darkest hour, eh? A shocking embarrassment.
Because the convict had a collaborator on the prison staff, you mean?
Aye, for shame. The coroner who confirmed the death of the man after his execution, Courtney South, and my chief warder at the time, Vigil, who was in charge of the whole affair.
But Mr. Vigil says he didn't know anything about it.
The rascal wouldn't say otherwise, eh? More handcuffs.
Oh, how would I say no? You can never have too much iron in your diet.
Yes, you can.
When Mr. Vigil was handed his dismal notice as a result of what had happened, he was so despairing. He jumped out of your office window, didn't he?
Rascal means something mischievous. Oh, thank you so much, Geeky. You little rascal.
I didn't like to say, but that's just Vigil trying to get out of it.
Eats metal.
Do you no think he would have jumped from the shock of his crimes being exposed, eh? I do.
You would nay say otherwise, though, would you?
Of course, I can't shun all responsibility myself. I shouldn't have let him deceive me. Actually, there's barely anybody that kens what went on at the time now.
That knows? It's actually Scotting English. It's just do not / don't. Scottish keyboard stop. He says a couple things like a boot and a. I don't think he's actually Canadian. I think that is a Scottish thing too.
But Gregson haven't been murdered, and Dr. Strife forbidden from having any visitors.
No visitors. Someone obviously doesn't want her giving anything away.
Well, we're not going home empty-handed.
And I wouldn't dream of sending you packing without kimmer. Here, take a handkerchief.
Kimmer? Is that food? Please don't stereotype people. I would never dream of it, Geekster 32.
How? Well, it would be rude to say no. Wouldn't want to become an anemic.
I suppose there's anybody who might still can about what happened back then.
Who might know about?
It'd be the last from the Forensic Division, Maria Gory.
Okay, his badge and his belt buckle, I get it. They're jail cells. That's clever.
Maria Gory?
We've heard that name already, but we haven't met her yet.
I searched.
Oh.
She did not have it no more. Just the one.
And I think it means something else. What does it mean? I'm scared now.
But the wee Barons followed her man's footsteps. Didn't they ever see her without a scalpel in her hand?
Ah!
Oh, she was the one with the mask? Mama, what is this? I love her badge, the little green sick thing. It's cool. Yeah, we haven't seen her face yet. Scott variation of Comer? I haven't opened the dictionary website yet, but that's so funny at first glance. Oh my god.
Dr. Say's daughter, Maria Gory. We could do with talking to her.
a Gory.
So, she's Dr. Sai's daughter, but her name is Gory? Surname is Gory.
No, there's some family history, I'm sure, but I don't know the ins and outs of it. She grew up watching her mans working with the bodies of folks who died in strange circumstances, and decided to do the same with her own life. I can understand it myself.
Perhaps she was driven by a deep respect for her mother.
Perhaps. Anywho, she was in charge of Gregson's autopsy, I believe.
Right, and the coroner responsible for this incomplete report.
Comer a godmother. A female friend or comparison a woman. Companion. What did I say? Comparison. Companion. That doesn't make any sense for what he said. Maybe it changed over the years?
Someone told me once that the wee lassie was always loved her mum's stories about cutting up bodies. There's even a rumor that she used to listen to the funeral march as a lullaby. Jesus.
Well then, perhaps her mother might have told her about the autopsies from the case 10 years ago.
Aye, I say there's a fighting chance at least.
But I will never call a woman Comer. I'm sorry, Scotland. Yeah, no, not gonna happen.
After all, that was a life-changing case for all of us.
Because we are respectable gentlemen, Geeky.
We really need to speak to Miss Gory herself about this, I think. Well, thank you very much.
I'm no happy about any part of this. It took years of Londoners to finally forget the whole professor business. Can you no give up on this laddie? Stop asking pointless cursed questions.
I'm sorry. I don't like dredging up these painful memories for everyone.
Then you know just stay away now. Leave me alone and didn't come back here, eh?
Well, we haven't talked about the Isugi papers yet, so no.
How'd you come to ken about that laddie? There's no many folk here, even here in the prison, who've heard of those papers.
Ah, well, I can't tell him as Vigil told me. I'm afraid our sources must remain confidential, sir. We've been led to believe the papers are actually the last will and testament. Is that right? The professors, or rather, Genshin and Sugi's.
Aye, that's right. You well informed, Jimmy.
Oh, is that the end of the silent treatment? But then after the convict's execution, it mysteriously vanished from the cell, didn't it?
Havers, no. You're off at the half-cock there.
Half-cock there? Sorry?
I think you didn't quite get your facts straight. It was there in the cell, exactly where it should have been.
Oh! Not what we heard elsewhere.
Vigil asked him not to mention the papers to anyone, and the first thing he does is ask the governor about them. Yep, that's us. His face is like the Pringles. He is like the Pringles man. The characters were from Dartmoor. Oh, like what he's based off of? Interesting. Very interesting. Ah. Oh, goodbye.
Let me just have a wee, hook around in here. I'm sure I can find it. Aye, here ye are. See?
The last will and testament of Genshin Asugi. Written in with a calligraphy brush.
Oh, he just has an axe next to him. Yeah, he carries around an axe with him. But he knows lumber better than you do, Mr. Home Depot. Probably, Geeky. Oh, carpets? Oh, I can imagine, Ace.
Of course, I cannot read a word of these Japanese squiggles. But I mind it says he leaves all his wordless possessions to his son back in his homeland.
Yes, that's correct. That's the gist of it. So these are Asugi papers.
Oi, of course they are. Papers written by Asugi, no doubt about it. There's no mystery here, laddie. That's a lot.
Joanne, how much does Rue weigh? 10 or 12 pounds. 10 or 12 pounds, Coffee. I don't know how much that is in kilograms, though. We were talking about Coffee's cat, and we didn't know the comparison between... So, quite a heavy cat, then, I guess. But she seems so tiny. It's just muscle, she says. Rue is so cheap. About 5 kilograms, Glum says. Like, physically she's small, but apparently she's just like... She's beefy. There's a hole downstairs, Ace?
After all this skirmish of the natures of an execution, we sent the man's possessions back to his clan in Japan, and that was the end of it.
I think we ought to make a record of this, Mr. Naruto. Just in case.
One thing before you go on your way, Mr. Naruto.
Woolly Bear is about 8 pounds. Okay, so Rue weighs more than Woolly Bear for sure then. I fell up the stairs while carrying the bread maker. Smashed my chin against the bread maker when the bread maker hit the wall. No! Oh, God, that sounds painful.
Oh, yes?
Those papers are not to do with Greg's death. I prefer it if you didn't make no mention of them outside of this office. Or rather, I wouldn't just prefer it. Consider it an order from the highest level of the government.
I understand that I'm not gonna do that.
Can we look at them? I, Genshin Asugi, hereby request that upon my death, any and all material possessions and wealth belonging to me in London be delivered to my son, Cosmo Asugi, in the Empire of Japan. It is with a deep sadness that I accept my fate in this foreign land, in the knowledge that I will never see my homeland or family again. But I regret nothing about my chosen path. I don't think this is all the papers. I think this is made up. Boop, boop. How's your Japanese? I don't ask this because I speak progress. I think I know the answer already. Nil to none. Nil to none, Geeky. I took a pause in my Japanese learning to attempt Spanish. Casa. Aye, let's go! My goal is to be fluent in Japanese and Spanish. But, yes, that's house. But Spanish is kind of the priority since, you know, Gum's entire family speaks. So I have to, I have to learn it. Yeah, get that smoothie, Ace. Muy buen. Claro. Did you just yell a house in Spanish? Yeah? What about it? Casa. Mi casa, you casa. Yeah. But did I guys ever tell you my favorite word in Spanish? It's bicycle. Bicicleta. I nearly had a stroke when I heard it. I was like, you can't be serious. I was laughing so hard. Now whenever I hear someone seriously say, yeah, bicicleta, I'm just like, I can't. I'm such a child. I can't. I don't use Duolingo because it doesn't speak Argentinian Spanish. It teaches, like Spain Spanish. No, that's how you say it. I'm very proud of learning how it goes. Where are we going? Are we talking to you? Let's show him the Asugi papers. What's that?
Ah, it's just something I was hoping to ask your opinion about, that's all.
It's a serious crime for the defense to attempt to extract information from the prosecution by illegal means.
I think we have more of a defense and client relationship now, don't we?
Great, so we can't. Okay. The words for nap and party are, it brings me joy. Nap and party? What are nap and party? Are two very important parts of Hispanic culture. Bicicleta. Where haven't we gone? Lord Chief Justice Office. Sure, why not? Hi, Van Zeeks! Oh, yeah, there they are.
No arguments, Prosecutor Asugi. You will continue with the trial exactly as I instructed. Is that clear?
Perfectly.
It's Kazuma! Defying Lord Strongheart by the sound of it. He never did know when to draw back, or when to back down.
On your way now, Asugi.
My lord. Oh, hello.
Kazuma!
Okay, bye. Jesus.
He left without saying a word.
Yeah, I always found that so weird. They close between 12 and 4, but like, then they reopen at 4. Such a weird concept to me.
Yes, what are you doing here?
Oh, well, I was just hoping to ask you a few questions, if you wouldn't mind.
All of them. No, I didn't know either, Giki. I splashed soap on my glasses and really lost all motive. No, Ace.
I wanted Van Zeek's trial concluded today. But Prosecutor Asugi's unwelcome inquiries are going to make it longer than necessary.
Do you remember yours?
Unwelcome inquiries.
As a result, I'm losing even more precious time. Currently, 2 hours, 55 minutes, and 41 seconds. 42, 43.
Then we must resolve everything before 3 hours have passed, Mr. Naruto. In a miraculous not even 5 minutes? Anyway, I can't let the man's obvious bad mood put me off. I need information.
The Reaper.
Does Prosecutor Asugi believe that Lord Van Zeeks is the Reaper?
I wouldn't know.
That sounds funner.
It was 10 years ago, in that faithful closed trial, that Lord Van Zeeks made a name for himself among the judiciary. But the next trial he fought, he lost. It meant the ringleader of a criminal organization was acquitted, thanks to all the jurors being under duress.
But that's awful!
The man's freedom was short-lived. He lasted just 3 days.
Yes, let me see. He died in a rock slide at his place of work, I believe.
Correct. That was the inauguration of the Reaper of the Bailey.
And people believe Lord Van Zeeks was responsible?
He was brought to trial himself, but it was shown to have been an accident.
So he must have had a solid alibi then.
Nevertheless, the mysterious deaths continued. In total, 16 persons perished in unusual circumstances, ostensibly at the hand of the Reaper. That's a long run of coincidences.
Well, the Reaper's true identity may well be revealed by this trial.
And the impact that revelation would have on British public cannot be understated.
Is that why it's a closed trial?
Precisely. This country hasn't been seen a closed trial for 10 years.
So the last one was the professors? The trial of Genshin Asugi?
Correct.
Actually, we heard that originally you were going to prosecute the trial yourself, Lord Strongheart.
Van Zieks entreated me to relinquish the prosecution to him, that he might avenge his brother's death. And here we are, 10 years later. With the son of the man Van Zieks had condemned, now looking to avenge his father's death in the same way.
They do say that what goes around comes around.
However, it would seem the Debbie Ryan Disney movie tricked me.
That
the new young prosecutor is harboring some ulterior motive as well.
Kazuma is.
I like my organization to run smoothly. Organization? Maybe he's part of the you-know-what. In the exact manner that I prescribe. As with the giant clock in here, I won't tolerate a single cog being out of step with the others.
Ah, so that's what all these gears are about in here.
I mean, it's a clock. If the young man refuses to mess with the other parts of the great machine, I will be forced to take steps.
What? What do you mean?
Not something with which you need to concern yourself. In any case, all your questions will be answered tomorrow. I remember for my 16th birthday, I got an Xbox 360. That was my big gift. Now, I shall have to ask you to excuse me. As of this moment, I've been delayed from attending my next meeting by precisely 3 hours.
Oh my! That's a long time!
And I hold you entirely responsible.
Even though we miraculously managed to fit everything into not even 5 minutes?
The birth of the Coltrane 6. Thank you very much, Geekster32. The Coltrane 6. Actually, Xbox gives you a name before you change it. And mine was like All Fountain 6505 or something. It was a really weird name. Yes, the Coltrane was taken, believe it or not. Since it is a very popular name from Gears of War.
I wonder if you might agree to us, talking with Prosecutor Asugi.
Discussions between the defense and prosecution outside the courtroom are generally frowned upon. However, I will make an exception in this case. Now go. You can find him in his office.
Oh, thank you!
Was Geekster taken, Geeky? Was Geekster 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 to all the way to 32 taken as well? I got lucky with the steady gamer. The gamer that's steady, everybody. I love that name.
Let's go see him at once, Mr. Naruto. Kazuma's my best friend in the world, but I'm really not all that sure I know how to talk to him at the moment.
Where did they say he was? The prosecutor's office. Let's go. Wait, he's living in Van Zieks' house? Even though he's trying to put him in jail? Like, this is my place now? Yo, the toy figures. It's kind of just like, you know, this one we have. Way to go. This one. Except this one's a key. So maybe it is different.
So it's the office of Prosecutor Asugi now, is it?
On PlayStation. However, not on Pokemon Go. Oh, that's so sad, Ace. The retired dragon. That's right. Brought the Fall Guys brought the dragon out of retirement.
Cosmo is doing well for himself.
Yeah, he took his office.
Even though he's always forced to kneel on the floor, Japanese style in the dark corner. It's his habit to sit Zeiser style whenever he's working. Kazuma!
I thought it wouldn't be long before you paid me a visit, Ryanosuke. I was right about what I said, wasn't I?
Sorry?
That you have all the makings of a great defense lawyer.
Well, I always believed that you'd fulfill your dream of advocating the British courts.
We need to do something about that haircut.
I just never imagined for 1 second that it would be as a prosecutor. Seeing you stand in a foreign courtroom, so gallantly realizing your dream, Kazuma.
Yes, he needs his headband back. It looks like it's around his neck now.
I'm truly happy for you.
And I am truly thankful to you, Judicial Assistant Mikotoba.
He needs Ryu's hair, then moi, chef kisses. Ryu's? As in, like, Phoenix Wright's? Or, like, Ryanosuke's? Oh, I guess that... No, this is Ryu.
Ryunosuke, I always thought it would be fun for you and I to shake up the British legal system a little together. This isn't quite how I envisioned it, but...
Ryu Street Fighter. Oh, okay. Neither of them.
I suppose it's just another twist of fate.
I've learned a lot of things during my time in London. About how Sasato-san's father was himself a visiting student here once, along with Judge Jugoku. And about what happened with your father.
Then you have no difficulty understanding why I had no choice, why I had to find a way to get to Britain as a visiting student myself.
I want to hear it from you, Kazuma.
As you wish, Ryanosuke Naruto.
Oh, okay. I was waiting for him to say something. Your disappearance. I got my town hall back in the ESC. Hey! I'm now hunting down for Chrissy. Chrissy, wake up! I don't like this. Chrissy, wake up! Hey, hello. Time to wake up, time to wake up. Can you hear me? Wake up, Chrissy. I don't like this. Chrissy, wake up! Who is Chrissy in Animal Crossing?
It's going on for a year now, since what happened on the SS Sussy-Wussy. We were heading across the ocean from Japan to Great Britain, when a bizarre series of coincidences led to those tragic events.
I know you actually... I forgot about that song until you said Chrissy Kiki. The polka dot bunnies? Are there two? There's two of them that are sisters?
I thought I'd lost my best friend forever.
Pink and blue. Aw, that sounds so cute.
I must have been unconscious for a long time. When I awoke, I was lying on a bed. It was a narrow little room. There was a posy of flowers by the pillow. It took me a little while to realize that I was in a cabin of a ship. I slipped out of the room and headed up onto the deck.
Were you already suffering from amnesia at that point?
Yes, I didn't know what had happened or where I was. There was just his voice in my head. You have something you have to do, something no one else can know about. Go to Great Britain. Your task awaits you there. It was a calling I couldn't ignore. It compelled me relentlessly.
I'm sorry, what? Come again now, Ace? What? One more time for the class?
Out on deck, I saw that I was on a huge steamship and we were docked in a large port.
It must have been Hong Kong. Yes, it must have been. Presumably just before they were due to carry out your body off the ship.
I had no idea of the situation, but I did have the feeling that this was in some way my last chance. So I concealed myself among the
disembarking passengers and went ashore. Then I disappeared into the crowd of streets of that foreign port city. And Lily drew an orgy on the fridge with Batman and Pac-Man magnets. There's actually a button just for scenarios like this called Whisper. Check it out next time. Warning 1. Just under a year ago, with all my past memories lost to me, I was left behind in Hong Kong. Everything was foreign to me. The sights, the sounds, the smells. My head reeled. I was truly at a loss. I realized now that I'd escaped as a dead man, with nothing but the clothes on my back. No money, of course.
Oh, how terrifying for you.
Luckily, though, I had 2 feathers in my cap. One being your knowledge of English.
One being your knowledge of English, I suppose.
That's right. And on the back of that, I was able to pick up some work as a deckhand on the cargo ship. Eventually, after calling at countless ports, I finally arrived at Dover. That must have been some 3 months ago now.
Your formidable tenacity of purpose showing itself again. I mean, the man had lost his memory and had literally nothing to his name.
Looks like the wall. Okay, I have to see this now. Orgy below. Slurp, slurp. For my viewing pleasure. That's right. Oh my god. Oh, you meant like Batman characters shaped as Pac-Man characters. I thought it was literally like both Pac-Man and Batman characters having an orgy. Like, I don't know, like Pac-Man going down on Batman, like waka waka waka, you know? Like anyways, that's funny.
But he still managed to make his way to London on the opposite side of the world.
Batman, Pac-Man, row 34. Oh, you know it's there. Maybe. I will. Don't do it, Kiki.
Of course, I had no idea why I moved heaven and earth to get here at that point.
So, how did you end up becoming Lord Van Zeke's apprentice then?
That can only be called an extraordinary stroke of luck, really. You see, I was stopped at the border because I had no papers. They took me straight to Scotland Yard. And by sheer coincidence, Lord Strongheart was there to attend a meeting. That's when the second feather in my cap came into play.
Would that have been your knowledge of the law?
Yes, exactly. Lord Strongheart was curious about an Easterner with intimate knowledge of British law.
I only got Pac-Man, no Batman. My eyes. Oh no.
He took me back with him to the Supreme Court and assigned me to the prosecutor's office.
And then, 9 days ago, you finally got your memory back after the trial involving Drebber.
Yes, I did.
Your father.
Ever since I first met you at Yume, you talked about your dream.
So much better with the headband.
Mark my words, Rhinosuke. I'll be chosen as a visiting student and make my way to Great Britain someday.
Did you know the entire time about what had happened to your father here?
"16 years ago.
Aww.
When my father left on that exciting trip to Great Britain, I was just a boy. We took photographs together the day before his departure. It's my last memory of him. But what I remember most of my father is his unanswering sense of justice. "6 years after he left, a gentleman called out our family home. He told me that Genshin, my father,
had been taken ill in England and passed away. It was Professor Mikotoba, your father, Shisato-san.
Oh my!
Ever since then, the professor was very good to me. He even helped to fund my university education at Yumai. I'll be forever in his debt. But nevertheless, I just couldn't bring myself to believe what he told me.
Oh!
Then one day, a letter arrived at our house from Britain. There was no indication of the sender, so I opened it, assuming it was from an old acquaintance of my father. What I read in that letter changed my entire life.
What did it say?
It said that my father had been a mass murderer, and the writer cursed the Asugi name.
Oh no!
As a result of that letter, I found out what had been hidden from me for all those years. Sandwich! What kind of sandwich? Coffee. Presumably, the letter was sent from a relative of one of the victims. If whoever it was had been a member of the judiciary, he could have been present at the closed trial. The letter revealed that my father had been sentenced to death, executed for being a killer.
I'm so sorry you had to find out that way.
I imagine the British government did. I can't read. I imagine the British government did its very best to silence whoever sent that letter. Cream cheese and tomato on toast. That sounds like a combo. A combo for sure. But someone who knew the truth and couldn't bear the resentment was always going to be a problem.
But still, it could have been written by anyone. Why would you believe such a thing?
There was a newspaper cutting included with the letter. It was the first I'd ever heard of the professor and his terrible killing spree.
Well, what did my father have to say about the letter?
I couldn't bring myself to show it to him
What? Why not?
because he deliberately concealed the truth from me by telling me my father was taken by a fatal illness. It's a very New York, New Jersey thing. Ah, okay. I can see that. That couldn't have been easy for him, and he'd done it out of consideration for my feelings. So instead, I showed the letter to Judge Jikoku, who is missing for some reason.
Ah, to the other visiting student.
He faltered for the briefest moments, but then he just laughed the letter off. But in that moment, I saw it on his face. He was undeniably shocked, shaking momentarily before recovering his poise. On a bagel. Oh, I do see that being more on a bagel, actually. A year later, my bereaved mother succumbed to the strain of grief, and she too passed away. That's when I made up my mind that one day, without fail, I would cross the sea to Britain and seek the truth for myself. The truth about my father, Genshin Asugi. And I wouldn't let anyone stand in my way.
Oh, Kazuma-sama!
The Reaper's trial! Oh my god, there's so much dialogue in this one. What we learned today in court turned things completely on their head. It was an impressive piece of lawyering. Ryan.
Lord Van Zeeks isn't the Reaper, you know? I almost don't want to believe it myself. But it turns out that Inspector Gregson himself, the victim, was...
It's clear that the inspector was behind the Reaper's activity all along.
What? You mean you knew?
The real question is, who's been giving orders to the inspector? Why did they say it was obvious? I feel like he's the most, like, good-hearted guy, you know? Like, he even took Gina under his wing. I think they're framing him, honestly. Sad dad, sadder son. Please, can we get back to the prison? Jesus. Where there's a guy with a sad story and a sad dead brother. What's the difference, Kiki? What's the difference? What? Oh, he thinks Barak is the real prisoner? I mean, the real Reaper? And I know that 10 years ago, it was him who decided my father must be a mass murderer and sent him to his grave.
He's merely seeing that justice was done as the law dictates. He's not to blame.
Ultimately, it's people who condemn people. The law is just a tool that they use to do it. And when a man condemns another, he must take responsibility for his actions. Of course he must. But I know for certain that my father would never have taken another man's life.
Kazuma!
On the contrary, my father's life was taken by the Reaper. Well, that's that. Oh wait, we can show him the letter. Probably.
Kazuma, what do you make of this?
There's only one place where defense lawyers and prosecutors should discuss evidence in the courtroom. Okay. So we can't show him the letter from his dead dad. Cool. Cool. So what now? Didn't really have a ending now, did it? Where are we supposed to go? We did the talking. Is there anything I can examine maybe? I would have said this probably, right?
What the?
It's a scale model of the crime scene.
Oh, yes, I realize that. Does the prosecution officer make a model of the scene for every single case?
Apparently so. Sometimes it helps to visualize things better and notice things you hadn't spotted before. Actually, the miniature notice board is my work.
Be honest, you enjoyed making that.
So he's good with his hands, is what I'm taking from that. Yo, hello, bats. Oh my god. Okay.
Ah!
You disturbed the bats, did you? Fitting companions of Lord Van Zeek's, wouldn't you say?
Actually, I've seen things flying in Lord Strongheart's office, too. Doves, I think.
Perhaps you have to like birds to attain rank in the judiciary here. Although bats aren't birds, of course.
How about a sparrow for you?
What's that supposed to mean?
Oh, nothing. Sorry. Just thinking out loud.
Can we go? Where else are we moving? We did the prosecutor's office, vigil, Fresno Street, prison, governor's office, Waterloo, Lord Shom Suite? That's the only place we haven't been yet. Is Iris still with us? We haven't heard from her. Oh, there she is. No, we talked about everything already. My house maybe? No? Anything else here? That's always it's the same in the first one as well. It's what should we do? Kind of like hints and stuff. But it's never really good hints. It's like, oh, we should talk to the project, you know what I mean? Person's office. No. Priz, should we go back to him? No. Fresno Street? I feel like I've examined everything here. The hospital? No, we did that. I don't think so. I thought this of all things would have been what to show him. Picture, expected identification, photograph, firecracker, autopsy. Oh!
we're supposed to find what's her name? Where is she? Where are we supposed to find Gory? I want to find Gory. Where's Gory? What if we show him the autopsy?
This came up in trial, didn't it? As something a little dubious, I mean. The fact that no time of death was recorded in Inspector Grex's autopsy report.
Yes, there were some unexpected turns in the courtroom earlier. The suggestion you came up with certainly took everyone by surprise. The idea the victim died the previous day at some other location is quite something.
Well, considering when the pocket watch has stopped and the scorch marks on the candle, it's certainly a distinct possibility. The evidence in the scene both point to it.
To be honest, it bothered me too, so I paid a visit to the autopsy room earlier. The coroner responsible wasn't there, but I got a name. It's Dr. Gory.
If it wouldn't trouble you, Kazuma, we'd very much like to speak with the coroner too.
Of course. The last thing I want is for anything to be brushed under the carpet. Scotland Yard's autopsy laboratory is behind Lowgate Cemetery.
By Barclay Prison, you mean?
Ah, you know it, do you? The prison where my father was incarcerated and robbed of his life.
Kazuma, please let it go. Well, thank you. We'll pay a visit to the laboratory today.
I guess that's what we had to do. Ryanosuke, I want to thank you.
What for?
For this. You safeguarded the soul of the Asugi clan.
Well, it is a famous sword that's been in your family for generations. My only slight regret is that I never got the chance to draw it before I returned it to you.
Karuma is said to have been forged by a master swordsmith during the Sengoku Warring States period. I come from a long lineage of warriors, many of whom were expert swordsmen.
Well then, you're a chip off the old block, I'd say.
This blade, Karuma, is a symbol of the Asugi's clan honor and might. Apparently, one of my father's apprentices even took the blade's name for a surname.
Really? Karuma? It does sound formidable, that's for sure.
I think this is why they think he's related to, what are they called? Van Karma? Karuma Van Karma? I think they both mean sword or something. 16 years ago, when my father was visiting a student here in London, he had his sword forever at his side. Which is why it means so much to me that I have it by my side again now too. I bet you any money, his actual letter is somehow in that sword. And that is all thanks to you.
It was an honor.
Carrot hair, we know. Now, I have preparations to make for tomorrow. Perhaps I said a little too much.
Kazuma, you've changed.
It's the same last name? Oh, they are related. Okay, not them. Yeah. But wasn't the apprentice related to him? Oh. Okay, so the apprentice who made his name Karuma in Japanese is the last name of the Van Karmas. So we know that his ancestor's apprentice or father's apprentice or something is related to the Van Karmas. Or chunky highlights for that to be Karen hair. No, Ryan, I haven't changed at all. It's you who's changed.
I can completely understand your resentment for Lord Van Zeek's given what happened.
But he'll never be edgy poo.
But the fact is, those events in this case are, well...
Unrelated. Is that what you want to say? How can you be so sure? So then who is Cosmo related to? And who is Van Zeek's related? I feel like Van Zeek's... You don't think they're all related? I want them to be.
What do you mean?
Never mind. I mean, they both have gray hair. That's a very defining trait, you know? That man is the Reaper, and it's for that reason that the inspector was killed. I'm going to prove as much in court tomorrow, by whatever means necessary.
I can't let you do that, Kazuma.
I know you'll do what you have to as a lawyer, but I'm sure I don't need to tell you that I won't be taking any prisoners in the courtroom.
I would expect nothing less.
Until tomorrow then, in the Old Bailey. Okay, bye. Yay, new room. Boo 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 doo 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 doo. Save. Save. Boo boo doo boo. Boo. Let's at least go to the new place. We have a few minutes left before stream ends. I want to see what she looks like. Hello.
This place really is creepy, isn't it?
This gives me like Hot Topic vibes, especially like the black and white checkered floor.
Well, being a dead room, it's probably full of spirit of the dissected. But actually, there's a rather pleasing scent of roses in the air. Well, being a dead room, the coroner probably needs a bold scent like that to mask the odor of death.
Iris, do you think we could, change the subject?
Gross.
Shink, 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 shink.
What? What was that?
Someone's sharpening their blades, obviously. Oh, she disappeared.
Dr. Gory?
And there's the thumbnail. What?
That noise before.
I was sharpening my tools. I'd be dead meat if I didn't keep a perfectly keen edge on them.
Right.
Hey, Glem, do you think you can make her badge a badge? Yeah. Or at least like the green circle. It's pretty cool. It's like a little angry face. It'd also be cool to make a Kazuma's black one. That one especially. When you're following the collagen fibers in the dermis, an expertly sharpened scalpel cuts like cheese. Would you like a demonstration? No.
Oh, yes, please. I'd love to see.
No. Then, I think you'll do nicely.
Huh? No, I wouldn't do nicely at all. I mean, maybe some other time.
Tisk.
What was that a tut? Well, we came here again. I came here to ask questions, so.
I think we'll have to save the questions for another time. Oh, there's only one question. Ah, let's ask the question. Let's do it.
We have actually met before. I'm a lawyer, if you remember.
You're not dead yet.
What?
So Mama said I wasn't to cut you open. She's so strict about things like that.
Well, good. Dr. Scythe has some scruples, at least.
Oh, dear. It looks like she's not interested in talking to us for the time being, anyway.
For the time being? You mean until we die? I hope that's a way off. Sorry, but I wasn't planning on dying anytime soon. Surely there's some less drastic way of making her listen.
I'm assuming with the show or something. Oh, probably her thing.
Dr. Gory, we actually came here to ask you about this.
He was very good.
Good. Sorry?
His skin didn't snag my blade once, and very little mess. His joints dislocated easily, and his muscle tissue was a pleasure to work with.
Can we not talk about cutting open Gregson like this, please?
What? We can skip those details.
Jesus Christ, man.
But there is one thing about the report that's caught my attention. You don't seem to have a record or recorded time of death.
Look up to see that. Hi, Lily. Do you like what you see? Oh. Do you like what you see now?
That's not my fault.
Oh, that made me jump.
Then please, tell us what happened.
She's like the albino version of Wednesday.
So, why does this autopsy report include the victim's time of death then?
Okay, I forgive her.
It's really the most crucial detail.
I was told not to write it.
Thursday Adams.
What? By whom?
Mel Strongheart, the Lord Chief Justice.
He came here. I knew he was up to something, man.
Lord Strongheart came.
I weak to Pretty Woman. Pretty woman walking down the street.
He said that from the witness stand statements about the gunshot and the other evidence, it was obvious. The man clearly died at 5 p.m. on 1st November when the gunshot was heard.
But that's not the time of death you wrote in the report. You didn't write anything. Was there some reason you didn't include it?
Yeah, Ace, get that food. You deserve it, man.
Dr. Gory, if you're hiding something under Lord Strongheart's instructions, then sooner or later, you're going to do the same way as your mother.
Give it here, then.
Huh? Why's she scribbling so furiously?
There.
You've written.
What's she written? Tell us!
Indeterminate.
But
Indeterminate. Interesting.
what do you mean by that? Why was the time of death indeterminate?
When the specimen was brought in, it was still fresh. So the time of death could easily have coincided with when the gunshot was heard. But there was one small discrepancy.
What discrepancy?
There was some fried fish in the pocket of the specimen's overcoat,
Yeah, there we go.
and that fish had started to rot.
Oh, so he was there for a while.
What?
If the victim liked fried fish, he presumably liked to eat it before it went off.
Well, yes. What are you really trying to say?
It's possible that someone tried to manipulate the apparent time of death.
Manipulate the... Is that even possible to do?
Theoretically, if you were to chill the body in ice, you could delay the onset of putrefaction. And if the overcoat wasn't on the body at the time,
Then only the fish would have started to rot.
with today's science, it's not yet possible to determine if the body was chilled or not.
But today's science is advanced enough to let you freeze a corpse, it seems.
This is freaky.
But surely, to chill a corpse like that would require an enormous electrical refrigerator. And I don't imagine many households in London are equipped with such a device.
No, definitely not. But maybe in a factory or some other special places.
I don't recall seeing any factories or such like on Fresno Street, though.
This sure is one Freaky Friday.
I wonder if the inspector's body had been chilled somehow. What might the actual time of death have been?
I couldn't say for sure. But at the most, it might have been a day earlier.
No! In other words, it would corroborate your previous deduction, Mr. Naruto. That Inspector Gregson was killed the day before his body was discovered. At a different location.
English muffin with cheese whiz? I don't know how I feel about that one. I don't know about that one, Ace.
Did you inform Lord Strongheart of this possibility?
He simply said that there were no electrical refrigerators of that size in the vicinity.
Oh yes, one other thing. It's something the governor of Barclay person told us.
Slaps? I don't know. I mean, if you slapped it against the wall, I'm sure it would stick, but I don't think that's a slapping I want. Some butter on too? No. You've lost me. Completely lost me, Ace.
He said that your mother, Dr. Scythe, was responsible for confirming the death of the professor after his execution.
And we know she was corrupt. The professor.
Apparently, you always enjoy listening to your mother's stories about her work, so we were wondering if you might know something about what happened 10 years ago.
That's not all Mama did.
Sorry?
My mama carried out the autopsy of Clint Van Zieks as well. Oh.
What? Really? The brother of Lord Van Zieks? The professor's final victim?
The idea of carrying out an autopsy on a member of the aristocracy was completely unthinkable back then. But the detective in charge of the investigation insisted, and it was miraculously authorized.
The detective being Inspector Gregson, of course. Quite an accomplishment for one man.
The autopsy provided the vital clue needed to arrest the killer. Pardon my screenshots. I'm trying to get a good thumbnail. Remember the what, Cole? I'm not gonna say I butchered it again. Coffee. The autopsy provided the vital clue needed to arrest the killer. I'm gonna send an English muffin and cheese with genie for you to try. Ace, that will kill me. I am very lactose intolerant. And Mama was there for that historic event.
What does all this mean?
You know, that amazing autopsy happened right here in this very room. The professor and Clint Van Zieks. They both spent their final moments before their burial on the dissection table there. So this lab, Mama's lab, was instrumental in some of the country's most important events.
She really is proud of her mother.
I'm pretty sure Cheese Whiz doesn't actually have cheese in it. Actually, yeah. Isn't it supposed to be just like a gray mush that they color dyed to make it look like cheese? That's gross. I'm sure my stomach would still hate it regardless.
I wonder if you'd tell us more about exactly what happened back then, Dr. Gory.
We're gonna have to save the rest for later. Definitely, because I'm gonna be late for work. Alright, guys. That was a great stream. We learned more stuff. I'm sorry I had to push stream back and then I was late and stuff like that. But you know, we did it. We had a good stream. It was grand. We'll be back on Thursday for more twists and turns. And I'm very excited to see where this leads us. I hope y'all have a terrific night and thanks for joining us, everybody. Peace out, everybody. Bye-bye.